What you are going to hear now from Mr. Sumit Dora, I will not give a very long, background to it. He is going to speak on something most of you would have no idea about. When we talk about stock markets, most of the people shy away. Stock market means it is so risky. Do you think, am I crazy? I'll put my money there. But do you know that you can invest in stock markets with huge amount of safety, with a small capital? And if you understand what he's going to speak about now, then there is no limit to the real wealth creation. Of course, the bottom line is, please understand this way of investing. So, Sumit, welcome to you. We are grateful that you agreed to join us and speak about options trading. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sanjeev. I hope everybody can hear me and also see me, because I think for me to be talking about on a subject like this, it's always good for me to showcase my face and my voice and some of the slides that I want to share with you, because that's going to create some idea of what I'm going to be talking about. So Sanjeev, can you just confirm, and I'm about to share my screen also, that if you guys are able to see it properly. So
absolutely, we can hear you, we can see you, and you have started your screen sharing. Yeah, your screen share is also very much there.
Thank you so much. And the given time I have, I mean, it's very difficult to keep the audience motivated the way Captain Raghuraman has been doing it and the previous speakers, but I'll do my best, because what I have, one information that I'm the one who's stopping you from lunch, but it's also said the people are most attentive when they are looking for lunch. So at least I'm going to have your attention. If you are hungry, be hungry for this information. That's my message. Better control of equity investments, as Colonel Sanjeev pointed out. Once you are investing, how do you make sure that your investments are doing the best for you? Before I start my conversation, before I start my presentation, first of all, let me thank you all for joining on a Sunday afternoon. And I also want to salute you and bow before you for doing a great service for our country. Today, what we are facing, I think the reason why we are able to survive calmly sitting at our homes is only because some of our brothers are standing at the borders helping us out. So with that, let me do my bit to help our nation think better about finances. So there are some questions that I'm going to be posing to you. Maybe the chat box is open. I'm not sure. Let me see if I can access the chat box also alongside, or the Q&A box, because I like to keep these things interactive. Guys, how many of you know that there are ways and means through which you can beat the odds in market entry? And I'm talking about stock market entry. There are ways and means. You can trust your managers, your fund managers, you can trust the insurance guys. Our previous speakers have done a great job talking about them. But if you are the one who wants to go beyond, as Captain Raghuraman said, if your internal scorecard says that you want something more out of life and it is all about wealth, if it is all about wealth and money, you probably need to pay more attention to this section. And I'm not going to take more than 30 minutes. So this is my first question. Do you know that there is a way that you can beat the odds in market entry? There is a way. I repeat, there is a way that you can buy an insurance for your equity investments. How many people know that insurances are available for equity investments? We all feel whenever we put our money, it's just left to God. Maybe the market goes up, maybe the market comes down. We don't know. However, if you have an insurance, I think that's a better thing to do. How about this question? Do you know that you can earn dividends from non-dividend paying companies also? By the way, a lot of our companies in India are a bit conservative on giving out regular income, especially for those who are retired and feel that some kind of regular income is what they are looking for. But the company that you have picked up, The stock that you picked up maybe is not the one who's giving you the income. How do you do that? What about this? There's another one. How do you draw up a horoscope for your own stock or the entire stock market? We will be discussing a little bit about this. By the way, Sanjeev has said, pack in as much as you can, give as much as you can. Let's see how much this audience can absorb. I'm going to be going fast. I'm going to be going a bit slow. The Q&A box is there. Maybe the chat box is also visible. Let me see if I can access my chat box. I really want people to respond and say that this is something either they know or they don't know or they will want to know more about. So before I go into those details, a little bit about myself. Guys, my name is Sumit Dora. I'm a CFA charter holder. I'm a UCLA, which is University of California, LA, executive program pass out. I'm a SRCC pass out from DU. Also, just to give you a bit of a background, I started my journey, professional journey, with NDTV Business News as a business reporter. I joined McKinsey & Company, and Radhika Gupta, our first speaker, and I were together at the time when she was in Boston. And I spent 13 years in McKinsey. I spent another 4 years with Boston Consulting Group. Both these companies are considered the best management consultancy companies in the world. And I got a chance to learn from the best how to analyze companies, how to do business and financial research. Currently, I am strategic advisor to a lot of startups. I am also a stock market trainer for exotic investments. So I'm going to be talking about exotic investment. As I said, if you want to go beyond mutual funds, if you want to go beyond your regular investments, this is something that's going to help you. So before I dive into the real content, this short disclaimer, whatever I'm going to be talking about is for only education purposes. I'm not giving out any recommendations as of today. We are talking about the stock market, which is quite risky, and you cannot afford to risk your money without doing your analysis. So let's start it. Let's start. Some of the headlines that you have been seeing in the newspaper. In the month of March 2020, there was a company, Moody, that lowered in the growth rate of India. And I'm talking about the GDP growth rates to 5.3, thinking Corona is going to create big hassles. Maybe that was the right growth. We don't know. Suddenly, in April, another rating agency comes in and says 1.8 is the right growth for our country. It is being lowered again. And then when the lockdown 3.0 was announced in the month of May, clearly we said it's going to be 0%. I don't have space on this slide, but you know, in the month of June, the RBI governor himself announced that the growth in this year is going to be negative. So what are we experiencing? What are we really experiencing? Fall in GDP growth. While you were seeing these kind of news headlines, there was something else also coming in the newspapers, and maybe you were also getting that news from your bank representative. This is the information. SBI slashed the savings account return. How much was it? It was 2.75. And if you know what I'm trying to say, such a low rate of return does not even help you beat inflation. Inflation in our economy, the last figure I remember, is close to 5%, slightly more. If you do the maths, and this is what the second article on your screen is telling you, if you do the maths, money lying in your savings bank account is actually decaying. The return is negative. Your hard-earned money, if you are retired and thinking that your lifestyle can be supported by the money lying in your bank, I'm sorry to say the savings bank account, or maybe for that matter, FDs from now onwards, are not the ones that will help you beat inflation. Remember, inflation computed in our economy talks about the increase in prices of essential goods, the vegetables, the oils, the petrol, whatever we consume, but we consume much more than that. It doesn't take into account the increase in prices of the mobile phones, the cars, the other essential luxury items that we feel we need. So if you are thinking of maintaining your lifestyle, this is not the avenue. This is no longer the avenue. Let me switch gears. Once you understood that the economy was falling, you were expecting the government to do something. And what did the government came up with? An economic stimulus package. And if I see what the news articles were telling me, the stimulus was in the form of loans. Only if you take loans from the government can the entire 20 lakh crore be justified. As you can see, some of the highlights of these articles: cheap loans, rural development loans, collateral-free loans, housing loan subsidy. These are the kind of announcements that the finance minister had been making for entire 1 week. To some extent, this newspaper went ahead to say the economic stimulus sounds like a loan mela. So, guys, audience, do you think this is the right thing to do? Do we know the interlinkages? Why the economy is falling? Why is it important to lower the interest rates? And why is it important for the government to announce a stimulus package in the form of loan? If you're still perplexed, I'm going to show you some charts which will solve this equation. This is the GDP growth. GDP growth for any country, by the way, is not stagnant. It keeps going up and down. Once it reaches the peak, it has to come down to trough, which means the economy goes into recession. And when it goes up from trough to peak, that is the time we say it's recovery. And it keeps on happening. And for those who are wondering what kind of GDP are we talking about, we are talking about GDP excluding inflation, the real growth in our economy. So nominal GDP excluding inflation is real GDP. And guys, just for your information, maybe you would have read this at some point in time, GDP is actually driven by these factors. And in India, the biggest contributing factor to GDP, real GDP, is consumption. The reason why any economy grows is because of government expenditure and consumption. And as I said, for India, 60 to 70% growth is because of our consumption. So just in case you are wondering, why is the economy being hit because of Corona? Is it unprecedented times? Are we supposed to be really shocked? My answer to you is no. This has happened in the past. Not once, but twice, at least in this slide itself. What you see on the slide on the left-hand side is the real GDP, India's real GDP. On the right-hand side, you see the interest rates. And if I just ask you to focus on the dot-com bubble of 2001, maybe you can see the blue line. Maybe you can see the blue line. It's coming down. 2001. At the same time, the interest rates were also falling. And it was not something happening on its own. The government was reducing the interest rates. If you see what's happened in 2008, real GDP came down again. And that was the time when interest rates also had to come down. Interest rates had to come down. Why? Why does the government focus on interest rates whenever the economy falls down? Why does the government focus on that? Let's see. How many people actually answer that? No questions, no comments till this point? The reason why, as I said, if I connect the dots, the reason is very simply, once you see that the economy is falling down, and as I said, the one and only way that you feel that this economy can come back is through lowering of interest rates till a point, I repeat, till a point when loans become attractive for us. That's the reason why the government is lowering the interest rates. Loans need to be attractive. As you see, if you take a loan, now let's talk about some domestic loans that we all like to take. If we take a loan, given the interest rates are falling, we might spend on this kind of an item, maybe set of white goods. And if I recall from what I heard in my previous webinars. I've been doing a lot of webinars for corporates in the last 2-3 months. At least the female audience say that after the lockdown was opened up, the first thing that they bought was a dishwasher, maybe a second fridge. And for those who could not even afford it, they took a small loan, 30,000 rupees loan, 40,000 rupees loan, whatever they could. But they definitely bought something like a consumer durable item on your left-hand side. Some people are thinking it's the best thing to do is now from now onwards move in a private vehicle. So they are taking some loans to buy a car. And since work from home culture is coming in, maybe there would be loans. I'm not sure if this is happening, but this is what I foresee. A lot of people will take loans for buying a house. Buying a house. By the way, if you haven't noticed so far, no matter where you spend your money on, whether you spend it on consumer durables, automobiles, or housing sector, the first thing that will happen is that the banks will receive the EMI. And if the banks receive EMI, the economy is going to recover. If you know this activity, guys, and if you also know that the economy after going into recession comes to recovery, this is how it will come to recovery. And if you're thinking about investing in any sector, these are the sectors. I'm giving it away for free today. These are the sectors that will have to grow first in the economy. So the stocks of these will rise up significantly. That's the early indicator. That's the leading indicator. That's the lead that you will get that the economy is going to grow, because this is something, a connection that you should know. This is a very, very simple interlinkage. Everybody should know. Everybody should know. Whatever happens to the economy first is visible in the stock market. I repeat, whatever happens in the economy is first visible in the stock market. That means stock market is the leading indicator. A lot of you might wonder, what about interest rates? Interest rates are actually lagging indicators. When the government sees that the economy is going down, it is slipping down, that's when the government steps in to lower the interest rate. So it's actually a lagging indicator. And guys, if you want to observe where we are, this is where we are. The stock market has already started to rise. The red color line, the stock market has already started to rise. The economy is still going down and interest rates are falling. This is the pattern. These are the interlinkages, very, very simple linkages that I talk about. And I talk freely about this when I go on my LinkedIn. I talk freely about when I do webinars. And today, as I said, Sanjeev said, give away maximum, because there are people who are probably thinking, how do I make more out of my life? How do I make more money? How do I make more wealth? So guys, think if the recovery is going to happen, this is where you're going to spend. Where are you spending your money right now? Where are you spending the money right now? You're probably spending money on FMCG products and healthcare products. And during the lockdown, this is what was available to us. Of course, we don't know whether the lockdowns are going to finish off completely or no. But these things, we will continue to spend our money. And if we are spending our money on this, chances are, and I don't know how many of you are observing, chances are these are the stocks which are peaking. They have grown significantly in the last 3 months. Pharma stocks, FMCG stocks. So for you to give a shot on what I just mentioned, if you are looking for a successful investment, focus on trend lines. What is trending? What is the next big thing? Technology is the next big thing. Banking has to be saved by the government. If the banking sector collapses in our economy, everything collapses. So these are the stocks that you might be thinking. So focus on trend lines, not on headlines. That is my first mantra. And here's something I want to give away again. We all spend some money, as I said, on FMCG products. Think about the brands where you are spending the money. Think about the brands where you are spending the money. Let me tell you, I am interacting with you right now because I have an Airtel connection. And roughly I get 1,000 rupees as my bill for my Airtel per month. You know what I do? I had bought the Airtel stock much longer, way back. I was so impressed after interviewing Sunil Bharti Mittal in 1999. I said, this is the company I definitely want to invest in. As of today, whenever I have to pay my bill, I just sell 2 stocks of Airtel, because currently the stock of Airtel is at 500 rupees and my bill comes out to be 1,000 rupees. Every month I just sell my 2 stocks. This is very easy, because if you spend something on a brand, stock prices of that company actually goes up. And if you are the one who has the stock, you're going to get cash back, and we all like cash backs. You don't have to wait for an Amazon or a Flipkart or a Paytm to give you cash backs. You create your own cash backs. So now you know how to beat the odds in the market entry. I want to switch gears. Because probably some of you might have figured out this. How many of you know this? That you can buy an insurance in the equity market. How many of you know that? We all buy car insurances. Whenever we buy a car, it is compulsory to take a car insurance. But whenever we create a portfolio, what do? We are quite happy. We are quite happy that the portfolio is growing. Large cap, mid cap, small cap, whatever you want to pull in, you keep putting it in. We are all quite happy when the markets are at 12,000 and then suddenly this happens. The market crash, and this is your reaction. You are totally amazed. You don't know what to do. However, if you had an insurance, you would have been compensated entirely. The red arrow, which shows a fall of nearly 3,000 points in Nifty, you would have been compensated for that. And please note this down if you have a paper or a pen. The way to buy insurance in stock market is not that you go through your Reliance or HDFC or whatever other insurance companies that you are most familiar with. The way to buy insurance in stock market is through a put option. It's called put option. And let me tell you the interesting part. If you now understand that you can be compensated for the market going down, the stock market also can compensate you for going up. And this is called a call option. As Sanjeev said, I'm going to be talking about options, and I'm going to give you only a preview today because I cannot talk much in 30 minutes. But just to give you a fair idea of what does this mean, since you are people from the battlefield, stock market is not different. Stock market is also like a war. If you make money, somebody else loses money. So what are the 2 things that you need when you go for a war? Simple question. What are the 2 things that you need? Please don't go to a war without your shield and without your sword. The shield will act like a put option. As I said, it will be your insurance. The shield will be your insurance. The sword will be your call option. It will help you make more money. The shield will help protect your existing money. This is what I am talking about from options. These are the exotic investments that the stock market allows. Let me talk about a third one. Dividends from non-dividend paying companies. How many of you actually own a house, a second house, which you don't want to sell because the house property prices are quite low? Maybe a lot of you. So what do you do with that property? You simply give it on rent and earn some monthly income. Guys, let me tell you, a lot of you might not be aware. In the stock market, you can give your stocks also for rent. While your stock is not rising, you can give it out for rent and make some monthly income. How do you do this? This is going to be something as I would say a big program that Sanjeev and I are planning for you. A bigger program. It cannot be covered in 30 minutes. So you can get all this and much more through options. By the way, if you are wondering what is the option market, have a look at this slide which I just downloaded from the internet. The stock market, the purple sphere on the right hand side is just $77 trillion global stock market. The options market, the one which I'm talking about, is actually 7 times the size, 7 times bigger. And you know what? Who plays in those markets? The options market, the rich. The rich get richer. Why? Because they know the rules of the game. They know the rules of the game very well. And guys, this is what I'm talking about. Let's see. If you are interested, I have actually trained in just last 1 year, and you see Sanjeev also, along with Sanjeev, I've trained 700 plus people across India on options, on value investing. The program that I offer covers macroeconomic analysis, something that you saw, something that you heard at the beginning of my session, macroeconomic analysis, key sectoring linkages, value investing, option analysis, technical analysis. You might have heard these terms, but don't know what to do with them. We cover this. And today, we are going to offer this as a program to you. Let's see how many of you are interested. So Financial Pivot, the company that I represent, and Hum Fauji Initiatives have come together for a program. The regular price of this program, guys, when I do it outside, is 75,000. 75,000 rupees. Nearly $1,000 US dollars. But Sanjeev said, let's make it a bit more exclusive. Let's make it a bit more exciting for our armed forces. So if you want to do this program with me, which means if half an hour or probably 25 minutes is what I took to create a mark, to give you some information about the stock market which you did not know, you have an opportunity. You have an opportunity to be with me for 12 hours. The program is going to be 12 hours, which means 8 sessions of 1.5 hours each. I'm going to give you 12 hours. And you can just imagine how much more is there to learn about the stock market. And the price, if you want to do this program, individual program with me, price is 50,000 for an individual session. If this is not exciting, maybe it is for some of you. Sanjeev said, let's have something more for this group. And today, just exclusively for the armed forces. If you want to join a group session with me, we're not going to have more than 8 to 10 people, let me assure you, in one batch. Of course, we want to have multiple people, multiple batches. But just to give you the right flavor, the right connect, the live discussions. This is a live session. I'm not going to give recorded sessions to you guys. A group session on the stock market covering all this, which I just talked about, is available to you for 15,000 rupees per person. Whoever wishes to join will be starting in middle of July. Today, just for today, if you want to book your seats, this is the amount you need to deposit. For a group session, 2,500 rupees. For an individual session, 10,000 rupees. And Sanjeev, can you share the link? Or if I have a way to share the link, let me see. Maybe through the chat box. Sanjeev, are you still there with us? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm typing it there. I'll share it there. Thank
you so much, because I have no way, I cannot see the box where I can put in something because I am in a presentation mode. Sanjeev is sending out the link. If you need to book a slot, please do it now. The amount is 2,500 on this link. This offer is only for today. Please do it before you go to lunch. Before you go to lunch. Because if you think this is interesting, we're going to do much more. So we need your We need your feedback. We need your support. And if you are signing up for this, I guess I'm getting my feedback. Those who are still thinking whether should we or should we not, I put a lot of my strategies about my stock market, the economics, everything on LinkedIn also. Of course, it is not as detailed what we cover in the group sessions. But as Jigyasa said, focus on branding. Put across everything and anything that you are good at. Let the world know what should they talk about with you. So please stay connected. My LinkedIn, you can find me by Sumit Dora-CFA. That's how we can stay connected. And I assure you, I try to live up to what Jigyasa said. I have made my profile in such a way that people will not be disappointed. So it will be worth your time if you visit my profile and see some of the posts. There will be a lot of information, there will be a lot of strategies, there will be a lot of ideas on the stock market. So guys, that is it from my side. I think we can take some questions. I will keep this slide open just for people to remember. So this is the time to book your slots. Also, I'm happy to take on questions. Maybe Sanjeev can help me pick and choose the best question, because I think we still have time. I try to do my best, Sanjeev, to stay in the time zone.
Yeah, I can see that. You know, all those who are attending this seminar, whether on Facebook Live or on Zoom, we could not give more than half an hour, and half an hour is not does not do any justice to a subject as complicated as options, learning the stock markets, options, what is investing and all that. Hence, when I was discussing this with Sumit, then I agreed that he can offer a course here. As you can see, we have with very good negotiation skills, I have been able to bring it down from 75,000 to 40,000, now to 15,000, and you have to deposit 2,500 today, and rest can be taken later. Sumit, some questions have come as to what
Sure.
these sessions, group sessions.
Sorry, can you repeat the question for me?
When are the sessions being planned?
Yes, mid of July. Mid of July is when we are planning our sessions. We want to keep, as I said, multiple batches, but smaller in size. Don't want to do it like the regular webinars that you see. You know, we don't want this to be like 40 or 50 people attending the webinar, me talking, and you guys just typing in. No, it'll be more like you can talk. You can share your screens also if you're facing a problem. This is going to be a live session. Guys, this is no point sharing recorded classes to you, because everybody's interested. What do I do next? If I talk about a situation which has happened in the past, it's gone. Everybody's interested. What do we do with the current situation? So that's why the reason is these are live sessions. We are going to make small batches, and that's why we are collecting names. We are taking deposit money as of today. This is a very special price, and we do not offer it outside. Let me assure you, you might not even have heard of this, because Sanjeev convinced me that we have to do it for the armed forces.
Another question: do you cover both technical and fundamental analysis in this course?
Yes. So we cover. Let me take you the previous slide. We cover, if you can, maybe it's not really that visible. We cover a lot of fundamental analysis. We also help people who do not have accounting background. We give actually automated calculators to them. They don't have to worry about understanding balance sheets, income statements. That's not a problem, because we have automated a lot of these things. What you need to focus on is your sense of what is possibly going to happen in the economy. If you know what's going to happen, we will help you fine tune it. If you don't know, we will also help you what are the indicators to look out for. And how do you take advantage of that? As I said, your put option and call option, your shield and sword. We will be spending a lot of time on option analysis, fundamental analysis, and yes, technical analysis. It's all there on your screens. All this will be covered.
Another question is what are likely to be the timings for the session? Will it be weekdays or weekends?
Most likely weekends. If you guys are comfortable on a Sunday, we can do Sunday 1.5 hours, most probably 5:30 to 7 p.m. in the evening. If a lot of you feel weekdays is a good time, and maybe towards the end of the day, towards the middle of the day, we can come up with that. We'll be flexible as per the group needs. If you have a very specific need of your own, please sign up for the individual session. Individual sessions are for those who feel that they have some knowledge, they don't want to start with the ultimate basics. We will pace your program just for you, so that you reach the level where you want to reach at a much early stage. You don't have to follow the group space.
Another question is intraday. The person is interested in intraday, so he's asking whether you cover that.
Yes, so technical, and after you do the technical analysis section of the program, you will be able to do intraday also.
Can we book now but join at a day of own choosing, like September or October?
Yes, you can, provided we have some people at that point in time. If you're planning to do a group session, I mean, in September, if we are having more people joining in, you are most welcome, but deposit your money today. If you are planning to do an individual session, your time can be reserved as of today. If you do an individual session and you say, I want to join in September on this date, I will be there for you.
Okay, can we pay advance for classes in the first week of August? And we'll take this as the last question.
This offer that we are talking about, which Sanjeev has said that we should give it out, is only for today. It doesn't matter when you want to start, but if you want to start at this price, please deposit the money. The total price, I will repeat, if you want to do a group session, it will be total 15,000 per person. If you want to do an individual session, it will be 50,000, 50 per person. And what you need to do today, just for today and before this seminar ends, I repeat, this seminar is going to end somewhere, I think 4 o'clock. That's Sanjeev can confirm. But you need to deposit this amount through the link provided. I think Sanjeev has already provided the link. For the group session, please deposit 2,500 rupees. For the individual session, please deposit 10,000 rupees. Yes. I hope this was useful. Thank you all. And thank you, Sanjeev, for bringing me here to the summit.
Thank you very much, Sumit. You've, for most of the people here, you've opened up a totally different kind of avenue nobody knew existed. Some people have an idea, but not much of an idea. So anybody who wishes to go ahead, definitely can go ahead with Sumit. Having attended earlier his classes, I can tell you they are pretty powerful, pretty good. Thank you very much, Sumit.
Thank you. Thank you for hosting me.
Great having you here.